Hey everyone, welcome back to the Paste Studios. We are now live with the Trouble Notes. Guys, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Cheers, man.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome to the first Trouble Notes US tour. I know you guys played Burlington, you played Buffalo, Rockwood Music Hall is tomorrow night, but this is the first press thing that you've done since you got here, so we're stoked that it's with us.
Exactly. We feel like now we've officially arrived.
Well, we've been enjoying the way Soundcheck has sounded. We're stoked that we get to show you all this music history here on the wall. It's always a pleasure to show it to people who clearly care.
Yeah. I appreciate the fact that we're in company of fellow nerds. That's cool.
Yes, that Dire Straits tape is that's placed at eye level on purpose.
Yeah.
I felt like you guys were going to be attracted to that one.
You've succeeded. My father will be. We've arrived. I've arrived. Dad, I've arrived.
And the Englishman's next up, and John's also kind of.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
So you guys have the studio album "Lose Your Ties" is out right now, and you just released a live record live in Berlin last week. So congratulations are in order there.
Thank you.
Yeah, and can you tell us a bit about the first song that you're gonna do today?
Yeah. So we figured we'll start with a song called Grand Masquerade. Grand Masquerade is about a figurative mask that we feel that at some point in your life everybody has kind of been forced to wear. It's like you have to hide something about yourself from someone that you care about. And so the song is this kind of roller coaster as it starts to kind of drive you mad, that you know you're hiding something from your society, or perhaps it could be your sexual orientation, or it could be it was written in Berlin with the idea that at once there was a wall that had cut the city kind of in half. And if you lived, depending on which side of the city you lived on, you were kind of told you had to think, about your society or your politics in a certain way. And so people started to hide things about the way that they felt, because, on the east side in particular, it could mean your life if you got caught, being a capitalist sympathizer or whatever it might be. And so people wore masks. And so we had that in mind, this kind of walking through the streets with your mask on, and you start to have this psychological breakdown as if you were trying to decide whether you're going to rip it off and scream to the world, this is my secret and this is what I feel, or if you'll just kind of forever walk around in a masked conformity. So the song is called The Grand Masquerade.
Guys, it sounds great, man. Thank you for coming and sharing your songs with us. Internet is stoked. All the there's quite a bit of love coming in right now. So thank you for sharing it with us in this room and everybody on the other side of their screens out there on the internet. I watched you guys. Was it 2 days ago, 3 days ago, maybe when we were setting this up, busking on the street in Montreal and doing the live stream.
Yeah.
Which was outstanding. It was, pretty great production value considering what you guys were up to. I enjoyed it a lot.
That's the beautiful girl in the corner there, Miss Stephanie. She does all that. But yeah, we've live streaming. I mean, just like for you guys, it's been kind of an eye opener and a world changer for us because we travel so much. I mean, we're on the road about 9-10 months a year, and we go to really cool places. And it's it used to be when you were busking, you're playing street music, you'd look for a spot and you'd kind of say, okay, here's a really cool place where I wish I could play here because the aesthetics are incredible, but maybe we wouldn't make as much money as over there, right? Or we wouldn't reach as many people. And now with live streaming, it's changed that. The places that are really the best places to play are actually the places that we're starting to play in. It's like, okay, well, maybe, we won't reach as many people physically here, but the place is so beautiful and we're going to get such a good performance out of kind of the vibe of the place that we'll play there and we'll just live stream it. And we've got now an audience that continues to grow because they like to watch, us playing different songs in different places around the world. And it's cool.
Sure. Yeah. And it crosses over into your personal life too. And you get, instead of doing tourist things, you get to go do the thing that you wanted to do and create some music there. But
yeah, exactly.
True.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's, do you guys get a chance to do stuff while you're here in New York this time around, or is it just constantly from one thing to the next?
We had one night off for that. Yeah.
That was last night?
No, that was like 2 nights ago, like the one before.
Can we tell stories about what happened that night on the air? I don't know what happened, but it seemed like something.
Ones from the time up before, actually. From where was that? Was it Toronto? The famous hotel one? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was in Toronto.
Yeah, but maybe not.
No, I think
the short answer is yes. It sounds like you got to enjoy the city.
Let's just put it this way: we have a lot of friends in this area because for example, our group actually was formed here. Yeah, we were formed in New York. So New York is, even though Berlin is the city where we live, we still consider New York kind of like the birthplace of the Trouble Notes of our group. And so we know a lot of people here. And on that first night when we came in, there were some real friends that came out, and everybody wanted to hear about what was going on. And we all tried to catch up. And eventually that that can lead to a really long night. That's all I'll say.
With us actually.
Yeah. Well.
So I'm glad. Let's just say it this way: we look very fresh today, and that's because yesterday we went to bed extremely early and got some sleep, and
I slept in the hotel, not remembering I paid for that actually. So let's leave it like that.
So then that means that Rockwood Music Hall tomorrow night is going to be a ton of fun if you're playing in front of your sort of the hometown crowd.
Yeah, I mean that's it's an interesting thing because we've been away for so long, that the pre-sale of the tickets has gone well. I think the room is almost full.
Good.
Which is a good thing. But at the same time, we're not really sure who to expect, and I think that's there's an excitement there as well. It's like, okay, we know that there's going to be a lot of people that we used to engage with and we were really close friends with, and in years ago. But which of them are going to turn up? Who are the surprises that we're going to see that we haven't seen in so long?
Dude, I might show up and cause a bunch of trouble with you guys and keep you up all night long. That might turn it around too.
I mean, we're going to have to leave early on Thursday, but you're still welcome to come out and cause trouble with us.
Good.
It's in our name, so it's cool.
Let's do it.
So the second song that you guys are going to do is somewhat New York centric, but also very much. Wait, is this still what you're doing second? Are you guys?
No, I think because we were told we could do 4. So
that's right. I almost had a perfect segue there because I knew. Well, all right.
We can. You know what? We can switch up the order.
No, dude. Do what you're going to do. No, right. Dude, forget my segue.
Right. Well, but this one also has a New York vibe because what this song is called "From the Vault." And what we tried to do was because again, all of us are huge hip hop heads. We like, us too. You're getting there.
I like it. Come on, no.
And jazz as well. So it's kind of like the idea was what we wanted to do was kind of write a song where we showed how much jazz, in particular, like swing as well, and hip hop have synergy. And so this track, it's called "From the Vault" because we joke that it's kind of like one that. The starting point of it anyway was kind of like a beat that could have been turned into like a Dre anthem, you know what I mean? And it just never made it out of the vault. So it's called "From the Vault" because it has this kind of jazz swing hip hoppy vibe.
Well, it's a good thing that you guys added this to the set list, considering you are in our vault right now playing this song. So this is perfect.
Nice one, that's exactly what gave the inspiration. This is a beautiful vault, by the way. If something goes missing, it wasn't us.
Man, that's great. That is, I can confidently say that's the first time I've ever seen a violin played like that, like a percussion instrument.
Yeah.
But it goes perfect with the castanet. Is that what that's called? Did I do that right?
Nice little click like Danish.
Yeah, man, that sounds great.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, actually, there was. It's funny because I used to have also another violin from the same maker, and we've been outfitting it with all sorts of different metals and stuff, so that like each hit has a different tone. So that one's still a long work in progress, but at some point I'll be able to demo that, which will be cool.
Nice. Have you, do you know the Wood Brothers by any chance? You know that band? There's a...
Embarrassed to say no.
I'm gonna permit me just like a 30-second digression. The percussion player plays a guitar. He calls it the shitar. It says shitar on the headstock of it, but it's that. There's just bells, whistles. There's stuff all over this thing, and that is the percussion instrument in it. And we'll take a look at it offline. It is amazing.
But if you're out there, take a look at that because that sounds really cool.
But after this live stream, watch the rest of this live stream, and then go look at the Wood Brothers.
Did I just
shitar.
advertise you out of our live stream? It's terrible. He's right.
Guys, it sounds great so far, and we're only halfway through. We got 2 more.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you tell us what you're going to do next?
Okay, so this is the song that we skipped over. Sorry, I broke your segue before, but the song was actually the first one we ever wrote, and it was written here in New York, in Brooklyn, and it's called Court the Storm, and it was meant to be the soundtrack to Hurricane Sandy, which was the big, massive Frankenstorm that rocked New York in October of 2012. And if you're living in the city now, you know that they're going to be shutting down the L train not too long and completely gutting because the damage that was done was irreparable, and they need to completely gut the entire train line and fix everything and modernize it, I guess, which is maybe a positive thing. Maybe MTA should do that with all of them, actually, at some point, huh? Sorry, okay. But anyway, so anyway, so this song is meant to be the soundtrack of the storm, but, you know, I think that it was a song that when we first wrote it, we had kind of, we didn't realize that it would also take on a little bit of a political direction for us, because as time has gone on and we've seen that more storms are happening and the ice caps are melting and sea levels are rising. And I mean, like just this year alone, there's record-breaking weather events all over the world, and and then you have the UN who have come out and said basically that in 12 years we're going to pass that point of no return. And so what we've been trying to do, especially since we're based in Europe, as with our European audience, is give people a feeling of what it was like to go through a hurricane by explaining the story and then saying, hey, just pray that you never have to feel this in physical, and the only way to do that is to try to make small actions on your own to lower your carbon footprint, and hopefully we can, cause or reverse some of the damage that we've done and at least slow it down at the bare minimum. But so just be a little bit more conscious about yourself. And so the song is called Court the Storm because it's as if we're literally courting the storm upon us.
Yeah. As soon as we wrap up here, I will hit the air conditioning. I want it too, man. I'm heating up as well, and I'm not doing anything over here. I'm just sitting here cutting between cameras. Dude, it sounds amazing. Thank you guys for sharing all these songs. We've got a bonus one too. Before we dive into the fourth, can we talk a little bit about, so Live in Berlin just came out last week.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit, I mean, you're based there, was there anything other than that's the group's adopted home that made sense to record the album there in that place?
Well, ironically enough, we didn't go there to record an album. So what we had done was we went to we got contacted by a very good friend of ours who was doing a format, actually not a live stream, but a format where we were going to film a concert and pick one song and cut it and put it out. And so we set it all up to be professionally recorded. We set it all up for here, and we had a very small 60-person audience. And what we did was we put it, they chose a space which is quite unique and interesting. It was a former World War II bunker on the west side of the city. And, of course, when you think World War II bunker in Berlin, you're kind of like, oh, no, this is kind of a dark place, yeah? And the whole concept or the whole idea was to reinvent this space with art and beautiful, exactly, and kind of erase or at least try to wash away some of the really dark history that was in this space with nothing but creation from different visual artists, musicians, and the like. And we really liked the concept, this sort of redemption through art idea. And so we went there, and we had, like we said, about a 60-person audience of friends and very close fans of our group that are living in Berlin. And the performance was just killer. And we had the whole thing recorded, and we were just like, man, like, do you mind? Do we just put this out as a live album in addition to the video? And Paul Kuchenbuch, who's a very good friend of mine, he said, man, take it, it's yours, I'll mix it for you, and then you can do what you want with it. So we owe him a lot because, I mean, he did all this work and then just gave it to us to release, and we liked it so much. And, I mean, I think the recordings are all pretty strong.
I was really surprised, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because it's a big contrast to our studio album, which is a really big sound. So, like right now, I mean, this is stripped back for us. Like if you come to Rockwood or one of the other shows around the States, we have a little bit more, like a couple effects here or there, and he's got a little bit more drums usually. And so there's, this is considered stripped back, but our studio album is a really big sound. It's more big contrabass, and there's other guest performers that played on the album with us. And so the live album is really like a representation of what you get when you come to a concert. And a lot of people really like that, so we think. I don't know. So we were happy to put it out, and so far the feedback has been positive.
Cool. Well, dude, thanks for sharing all these songs with us. And this arrangement sounds outstanding to me from where I'm sitting. I'm glad that you guys chose to come in here and arrange like this. It sounds great. And am I going to nail this next segue? So the next song that you're playing is on Live in Berlin. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I've said one accurate thing so far.
You said everything you said is accurate. I just messed you up, man. It's my fault. I accept responsibility.
So can you tell us a bit about the fourth song you guys are going to do today?
You want to intro this one?
No, you do it better than I do. I'm sorry.
The song is called Boddah, and Boddah was, for those of you that aren't familiar, Boddah was the imaginary friend of Kurt Cobain, and Florian over here is a massive Nirvana fan.
I also like hip hop, but that's what I grew up with. So I gotta say that. I gotta admit that.
And so, as a massive Nirvana fan, we joked that we had to write a song that was kind of inspired by Nirvana. And so, the riff on the guitar, which was the starting point for this song, kind of has this Nirvana unplugged feel. And then we really just took it and went our way with it. So the song is called Boddah because the imaginary friend of Kurt. We joke that the imaginary friend of Kurt Cobain actually taught this riff to Flo on a morning after a Sunday night in New York City.
All right. Guys, thank you for coming by and doing this.
And thank you everybody out there for watching, and thank you, of course, for all your efforts. You guys are awesome, man.
Of course, dude. This is great. Have a great show tomorrow night at Rockwood Music Hall. All the North American dates are up at the website. They're up at your Facebook. You're here through November 23rd. Is that right? In Wisconsin is the last?
Minnesota. There's one in Minnesota, Ed's No Name Bar. That's on the 24th.
Okay.
So Saturday after Thanksgiving. So we'll be
nice.
We're gonna have a lot of kilograms to get rid of us. Pounds, pounds. We're gonna have to shed a lot of pounds here. After
clearly, in the 37 minutes that we've known each other, you have demonstrated yourself to be adept at burning off calories.
Yeah. No, that's it, bro. This is my exercise. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, dudes, thanks for doing this. Travel safe. Enjoy. I might see you tomorrow night and cause a moderate amount of trouble.
Good, please do.
Not all the trouble, but just a little bit. And dude, thank you and great luck. Best of luck on the album as well. Live at Berlin just came out last week. So, guys, thanks for all this.
Cheers, bro. Thanks.